Football at 4, we're looking towards the draft. We are in draft month. The 24th, I believe, is the first day of the NFL draft. And if you are the Carolina Panthers, this is not a year where the work is done. This is not a year where you put together your big board, your draft board, and you go, this is the order of the players that we like. This is the positions we're looking for. Let's go hang out. There's not enough time. The top 3 in the draft do seem set, but not even the order is set. Right? It seems like Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter. Cam Ward, quarterback from Miami. Travis Hunter does it all. Corner, wide receiver, probably can, quarterback a little from Colorado. And Abdul Carter, the edge rusher from Penn State. They seem like the top 3 in some order. Beyond that, beyond those top 3, I don't know if there's anyone I would guarantee would go in the top 10. That's how unpredictable the draft is this year. And if you're picking 8th, that means the work is gargantuan. The Saints at pick 9, which is after the Panthers, are now the betting favorite to land Shedeur Sanders, the quarterback from Colorado, Deion's son. Think about that. Think of how much will have to either unpredictably happen or how many conversations will have to take place in order for Shedeur Sanders to even be available at 9. Because 6, 7, 8, including the Panthers at 8, are going to talk to teams that might need a quarterback about giving up some kind of a king's ransom to move up and get him. Mason Graham, the defensive tackle from Michigan, seen once as a guaranteed top 5 pick. He's light. He's not very heavy. Less than 300 pounds at the combine. Will Campbell, seen as one time a very secure, top 6 pick, offensive tackle out of LSU, has short arms apparently. Ashton Genty, he's a running back. Would you guarantee a running back goes top 10? Tet McMillan isn't fast, I guess. The guys that were seen as the guarantees are not. That's how unpredictable this draft is. Or I'll even explain it a little bit better. This is how unpredictable this draft is. Earlier today, we were setting up this segment, and I asked that question. I said, all right, outside of these 3, would you guarantee anyone would go top 10? And Dennis gave me 2 names, right? One of them, I believe, was Mason Graham. The other was Jalen Walker. And I'm not saying this to bash on Dennis because I'm actually closer to his opinion than on the one I'm about to provide. I asked Dennis, and Dennis was just on the phone, so I'll say this again so he knows, and I'm not talking behind his back.
Yeah, I do.
Earlier today, I said outside the top 3, would you guarantee anyone else goes top 10? And one of the names you gave was Mason Graham and Jalen Walker, right?
Yeah, those are the 2 I would be most confident in being top 10, but not 100% sure.
Not 7 minutes later, Paul Ihander, whose office is near ours, yelled out hey, there's a new mock draft from CBS Sports and Ryan Wilson. Jalen Walker's 19th to the Bucks. And
right.
And I'm not knocking you because I'm closer to your opinion than I am Ryan Wilson's opinion. I'm closer to Jalen Walker being a guaranteed top 10 than I am to him falling almost to 20. But it just shows how unpredictable this draft is, right? Not as soon as you mention somebody as a near guaranteed top 10 pick, someone else is going, I think they fall the second round. So what? Rich Cimini, who covers the Jets for ESPN, is reporting that the Jets, who pick 7th, might be open to trading Bryce Hall, their stud running back, if Ashton Genty is available at 7. I don't even know where that makes any bit of sense. If you have the stud running back, why would you use the 7th overall pick on a stud running back just to trade your stud running back? But things are about to get weird. As of this time, actually not, I can tell you exactly when it happened because I was at a birthday party for a kid. So my son was running around. There was a bounce house. It was about maybe 2:30. 2:30, I learned from Dane Brugler, who tweeted it out. I checked my phone for a second. Jalen Milroe, quarterback from Alabama, accepted an invitation to the draft in Green Bay. Prior to that tweet, I wouldn't have expected him to go in the first 2 rounds of the draft. I would have been like, if he's picked mid-3rd, he should probably be like, all right, that's a day 2 pick, way to go. Now, there's all these reports saying he has a first-round draft grade. That's how unpredictable this draft is. I could be at a 4-year-old's birthday party and have a player go from a mid-third expectation to maybe late first based on who's attending the draft. That's how unpredictable this draft is. They didn't have to play football. They didn't have to run a 40. They didn't have to have a pro day. They don't know any of that. Just, all right, sure, this is a new piece of information. Maybe they'll go to 27th. That's crazy. Now, I say all of that to say this to the Panthers. You can't have the reaction I just had. You're not allowed to throw your arms up and go, that's crazy. You have to have plans. You have to have, all right, Milroe, late first, here's how we execute our second-round pick. All right, Shedeur Sanders is available when we're on the clock at 8. Here's how we execute that. All right, nobody we like is available at 8. Here's how we execute that. There's no excuse for being caught off guard this year. Everybody's talking about Shedeur Sanders potentially having an Aaron Rodgers slide. Right? That's what I don't know. Aaron Rodgers slid all the way down into the 20s. Crazier things have happened. I'm like, do you know what didn't happen before the draft when Aaron Rodgers went on his Aaron Rodgers slide? Nobody was talking about Aaron Rodgers going on an Aaron Rodgers slide. Right? They weren't saying previous players that had gone on slides. So the Shedeur Sanders deal is not an Aaron Rodgers slide. Do you know why? We're talking about it now.
Yeah.
So there's at least some foresight and some reason to be prepared for it. I'm sure there were picks in the 17s, in the 19s, when Aaron Rodgers was sliding that were just completely caught off guard. He was supposed to be the number 1 pick, right? At worst, like 4th. So or 6th or whatever it was when you watch Aaron Rodgers documentary. There's no way the 19th team was prepared for that. The 19th team should be prepared for it this year because everybody's talking about it being a crazy draft. There's no reason for the Panthers to be surprised by anything. Outside, I would say, of Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, or Abdul Carter being there at 8. That's the only thing you're allowed to be surprised by. Everything else, flip to that page in your draft plan and get started. This is not a year where, like, April 7th, you're like, I don't know, we just got to kind of fine-tune our evaluations, but we're pretty much, hay is in the barn, the work is done. This is a year where you're getting in early, every scout, you're staying late, every scout, all the way up till draft day. And you're prepared to not sleep for those 3 days. I have no idea. Beyond the top 3, and I don't even know the order of the top 3, but beyond the top 3, I have no idea what's happening in this draft. And I do as much preparation as anybody. I pride myself on usually having an idea.
Nobody has an idea.
Every mock has Genty going to the Raiders with 6. I refuse to be surprised if a running back falls to 7th in the draft. I refuse. At this modern time, right? If this were 94, maybe not. But in 2025, if a running back tumbles, I refuse to be shocked.
I've seen multiple mock drafts that come out in the same day that sees Tedero McMillan, the wide receiver from Arizona, going around like 12, and I've seen like 26. Mm-hmm. Nobody knows.
And by the way, when this started a couple months ago, quite a few people had McMillan going to the Panthers at 8.
Yeah.
And the Raiders at 6. Like, it is up and down.